is what you get to do work matters, the results you get. And then three, you have to drive with economic interest. You have to make money. And for those of you in school, just got out of school, going to school, like you put a lot of time, energy, and money into this practice, so you hope it pays off. And so I have a brother's the dentist, I have a brother's orthopedic surgeon, massage therapist, I'm in the medical field. And our whole life was number one goal is to help people. I learned business much later. Like I knew my goal was to help people get well, but I just didn't understand like how business works around that. So I'm going to blend all those tonight. But if the product doesn't matter, which is helping people get well, nothing else matters. That has to go together. And I know I've treated some of you guys in the room, so I know we refer back and forth a lot. Actually, it's funny when the office today, I was kind of torturing this guy, and one of the hip patients you guys referred to me came in. So that happens all the time. So I'm going to show you guys something now. There's a video that aired a while ago. How many of you have a smartphone?
I'm not so smart on it right now.
Hey, so we still kind of big. What's that?
I was born yet.
Yeah. But like some of us can't remember what life was like before smartphones, but like these kids don't know what life is like without a smartphone.
Mm-hmm.
How many of you know about vitamins, minerals, like supplements? Like anybody take those things? Are they all the same? All right. So, and how do we typically find out about
TLC or Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz, social media, like all the time? Yeah. What? You know who Dr. Oz is? Right. So I'm going to show you a video that aired back in 2009 or 2005, because it's actually this knowledge is still new today. Right? Your body has the capacity to heal and repair, but why doesn't it? You ever notice like some patients you guys treat, like why does some person get the therapy or the treatment, they respond great? And why does you get some people not? What's the difference in that? It really comes back to how well their physiology works. And I'm going to introduce you several concepts. We can change the game on that and set where you can set yourself to be very different as a business person, but also help people have more success, which is bottom line. The only way to get people to come back, ideally, is helping get well. And that's the goal. So when we watch this video, I want you to, there's a quiz later. There's always surprises in my book. But I'm asking, there's a couple of things they're going to talk about. They're going to talk about a process known as oxidative stress. I'm going to ask you what that means. And they're going to talk about a blood test that they did and the changes they saw. All right. And I want you to, when you watch this, kind of consider like, who does this relate to? Like, when you think about this video, like, who does this relate to? Who do you know that might benefit from what you learn? I'm going to kind of come back to the whole piece of like, hey, if we're going to help people with their teeth and we're helping them with their health, can we utilize this as a tool to do that? Because every single person on the planet, they need dental work, but do they also need health? Yes. All right, so we're going to watch that. Remember the quiz later, and I have a couple of prizes too. I'm going to grab those prizes while you guys watch.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, Doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill, Protandim, a day, reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know, green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks, even mental disease. Yes, depression, Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
All right, you guys ready to quiz? So, big difference from oxidative stress, right? What is that? You want to take a stab at that? Dave, Dr. Bollwinkel?
Oxidative stress
It's Steve,
is the amount of free radicals that's in our system.
so what's a free radical?
Free radical is essentially the science component is an unstable ion that basically bounces around and starts to damage other cells. So it can break.
Kind of like a kid that's making a mess.
Yeah, falling in stairs.
So exactly right. So basically, a free radical is something your body makes when you breathe oxygen, and if it's not stable, it reacts to everything. So how does the body control that?
It kills off what's getting damaged, and then what the body's response is they'll try to get antioxidants to pair up with the unstable ions. And then
This guy didn't do much chemistry classes. Yeah,
that's the science.
that's the science.
That's why it's easier fruits and vegetables. There's a lot of antioxidants in
Oh.
fruits. And
So monsters don't count.
you don't see the juice ones.
Actually, sounds hot.
It's 9% juice.
Oh, but you are your stuff.
It's activated by caffeine and sugar.
Oh,
Bunch of sweeteners, which I'm sure doesn't help.
Dr. Andy, what do you think on that? That pretty good science?
Pretty good science.
All right, good job. Okay,
Not much.
that's pretty good. All right, so well, good job. Yes, we give your accident. Now, who on the planet has oxidative stress? What's that? Everybody. So everybody, if you breathe oxygen, you have. So why is it a problem? So who has bills here? Anybody not have bills? Like I want your life.
Hey,
Yeah.
Good life, right?
Yeah. When do bills become stressful?
and there you
They do, right? Or if you can't pay them. So oxidation happens in all of us, but it becomes stressful. The body can't actually pay them. So John Quinones' labs there, his oxidative stress dropped 35% in 2 weeks. So the marker they looked at is called a T-bar test, but it actually measured oxidation. His dropped 45% in 2 weeks. Now he didn't necessarily feel anything, but you don't feel oxidative stress. So normally when you're in a lecture or whatever in class, do you normally pull your phones out? I'm asking you to pull your phone out. Okay. Go to a place called pubmed.gov, pubmed.gov. Because I don't want you to take my word for it, but I want you to understand how big a deal this is. He mentioned multiple diseases in that video. You guys remember any of them? So pubmed.gov. What were some of the diseases he mentioned? Alzheimer's, diabetes, heart disease. So on pubmed.gov, there's a search bar. Type in oxidative stress. So oxidative stress, just for fun. Just to figure out that it'll actually pull up studies that are linked to oxidative stress and see what you find. And when you find it, how many studies are there? Anybody find it yet? How many? 300 what? 381,000 studies about oxidative stress. All right, so now type in oxidative stress with some process you're worried about. Maybe it's periodontal disease, or maybe it's cavities, or maybe it's heart disease, or maybe it's depression, maybe it's anxiety.
Periodontal disease.
Type that in and see what shows up. If you do like oxidative stress, periodontal disease, or oxidative stress and dental caries, what just anything. How many studies? 23,000 studies that relate oxidative stress to heart disease. How many people walk in this office that have some level of a lot? And you think about like what do you give a patient that's had a history of heart disease before dental work? I said they have to do prophylactic antibiotics, right?
Yeah, not so much anymore because it's causing more issues.
Yeah, but they used to, right?
We moved away from that.
You have,
But still,
but still, it's taught in school, right? Did you guys learn from school?
I've done this for a long time.
Yeah, again,
yeah,
So you learn-
especially putting Huntington and what.
yeah, but then still, it's still being taught. Yeah, so but if heart disease or like the teeth, like maybe we should look at like the cause of the problem, which is oxidative stress. Pretty crazy, huh? What else did you guys look up? Anybody else look up periodontal disease and oxidative stress?
1,719 results.
That's nuts, right? So you have all these studies that are linking things that we deal with every day to a process of oxidative stress. What are we going to do about it? Like, what's the tool we have to help people have more success? They eat fruits and vegetables. How many of you have between 7 and 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day? This is not a potato chip. This is not French fries.
It's not monsters. 9% juice.
But like, so how many of us do that? So in order to do that, in order to have at least a fighting chance, that's how many servings that's what the AMA says you have to have. But who has that? No wonder we're struggling in so many of these movements. That's exactly how I feel. So just for perspective, and I'm gonna flip one slide, we'll come back to this. If you take one pill of that protein, that little yellow pill they're talking about, it turned on the production of these enzymes in your cell. So when we're younger, we tend to heal faster. Like if I bounced down the stairs like she did today, like, right? I don't think I'd be walking right now. But little kids, they heal faster. When we're younger, just like it showed on that graph, the more we age, typically, or the more stress we have, the more oxidation we have. You can take one pill of protein a day and reduces that load by an average of 40% in a month, up to 70% in 3 months. Just to give you perspective, so when you take a pill of protein, I mean, it causes your body to make these big enzymes. You got to try for glutathione, ones that you'll hear out in the news a lot. But it'd be equal to eating 400 oranges a day. I mean, I like oranges, but like, I'm not eating any oranges. So like your mom, my dad, like we used to take buckets of something, vitamin C, zinc, all these, other things. 500 cups of broccoli to eat one fill of protein. Crazy, right? But that video, how many of you guys have seen that video before I showed you? So it aired one time on National News, that video. So unless you happen to see it back in 2005, it's 8 years old.
So I would say,
Yeah. Right? We wouldn't have seen it. So I didn't see it until like 2014. Right? Even though I've been aired years and years. Okay. But here's what I want you to know. You don't have to know the science behind it, but as a doc, it's kind of good to know that it's legit. Like I tell you, like, I hope you do the study, hope you do look back and do the research to say, is this real and is it legit? Nothing works until you do it. Like you can tell people brush their teeth all day until they do it, it's not going to have an effect. What happens if every person I find has some level of oxidative stress? This is one thing I can do that will vastly impact that. This relates to every process you're ever going to see in a human. Okay. Why does this work when differently? Why can you take that pill of protein and reduce the oxidative stress like you would take in 400, maybe 110 cups of blueberries? These plant extracts combined in a specific way is like a lock and a key, just like when you like the receptor site, things your science. When you hook into that lock and key, it opens the door. So when you turn that switch in your cells, your body produces these enzymes. One of them, it increases by 300% is glutathione. Like if you search out there in glutathione, you hear people doing IV glutathione, which is great, good. What if you can take one pill of it of a specifically activated product and it increases your by 30%. That to me is like turning on a money maker. That's having your own printer of money to produce those enzymes. Now, what's unique about this product, so just from perspective, so even though I've been in the health field really since I was born, but I've been in my dad's office since I'm 14, I'm 51 now. I've been licensed since 2001. Our dad shared with my sister, he's a nutritional formulator and a chiropractor. He's made over 200 natural products. So I'm super familiar with the industry. So normally when I want a product, I go create. If we have, but we can't do this. To do this type of study, you'd have to have millions of dollars to actually be able to study what they do. So here's what's kind of fascinating me. I asked the question, how did they figure this out? And I wondered, like, of all these ingredients here, which one actually does the magic? If you go to Amazon later, you check this out. You know, you can look up all those herbs, they don't have specific effects, but that combination of very specific ratio has a very specific effect. So one of the questions we're asking, which one has the magic? They tested each one of those, and they found that each one had a good benefit. When they combined them, it was 18 times more potent than the individual parts. It's just like you notice in a team of people. You can have the same amount of people on a team, but the team doesn't always perform the same. You got to be the right people in the right seat, having the right mission, and you can have different change. That's what Protein does. So here's what was really cool to me when I looked at that. Actually, one of the companies that I teach for, they said, why don't we make one? Because I was teaching for them. They said, why don't we make a product like that? Because I was seeing some really cool results with my patients. Some I've been treating for almost 15 years. And they said, why don't we just make a product that has similar stuff in it? I said, well, then I got to say mine's better than yours. And I have no study to back it up. So on that PubMed.gov, you guys type in Protein for me real quick. See what you find out. The actual brand name of the supplement, Protein, Protandam. Okay. Anybody find it? What shows up?
28.
28 studies. There's actually 32. Hey, she's the winner. Winner, chicken dinner. I challenge you to look up any dietary supplement that you're taking or maybe taking, bucked up maybe for you guys, and see if there are any studies on it. And because that's the validation. Like there's not a better validation other than what I think clinical experience to back up what this has. And the reason why it has that there is because it aired on ABC Prime 10 years ago. So I'm going to fill in a few of the gaps because if I did one thing in every patient, always, if I could reduce oxidative stress, I would. Because if you type in oxidative stress depression, they're linked. If you type in oxidative stress and heart disease, it's linked. Oxidative stress and dental caries, it's linked. So if I could do one thing to every single person on the planet, I would do that. Now, I'm kind of like John Quinones. I didn't take it because of what I wanted to feel, even though there are people that feel things when they take it. Like I did it because I wanted to just prevent it. Like I didn't want to wait till I was 80, right? Like he said, and take it. Now we're still working on Dr. Bollwinkel over here, being consistent with that, right? Yeah.
Always. Work in progress.
Yeah, always. So here's the way what we do very differently. The products that we did that are designed and created in LifeVantage, we call it take it to make it, because it's not the ingredients, it's the combination of ingredients and how it activates your cells. There's a term you'll hear more and more called activation. Now you're starting to hear the word a little bit out there, but it's still new to the concept. It's like smartphones was new. Now it's like everybody thinks they're a smartphone. Every kid does. Think about if you knew about, let's say you guys knew about the iPhone before it came out, and you could invest a couple $100. What would that look like today? Like that'd be awesome. I truly believe what we're doing at the company is doing that, like the iPhone, because it's a very different concept. Once people understand it and understand the power of it, it has a huge impact on the world. All right. So I'm going to show you a couple of pictures real quick. All right. All right. So here's your next quiz. I want you guys to look up collagen and on PubMed and see what you find out. And type in something like collagen and gums or collagen and in autoimmunity. You got to treat anybody with autoimmune problems? How do they heal? Sucks. Yeah. Right? Autoimmunity sucks, right? I mean, what a lot of those people are on immunologics and steroids, and how do they heal? Or, but again, they don't know an option. You guys find anything about collagen on PubMed?
It's all in dentistry for 13,000.
Isn't that crazy? So you're saying there are actually studies on collagen dentistry? So what is collagen? How many of you guys have taken collagen before? You guys ever taken collagen? Why do people take collagen? What's that?
So look it up.
So, yeah, right? That's it. I never heard a voice back there. It's really
That
cool.
was Linda's.
Yeah, so
There you go.
people tend to take collagen because they think it's going to help their hair, their skin, or their nails. That's common. You'll see people take it for that reason. But anything in your body that stretches, bends, or hold the structure is made of collagen. Bones, ligaments, tendons, teeth, collagen. So what are you eating that has collagen? How many of you eat the skin of fish on the regular? You do? And it's not unusual. You're close, right? So
All in there.
yeah. So what's interesting? So when I go to Alaska and fish every year, they're so the Pacific Islander and that they eat a lot of fish collagen. There's a reason why their skin is better than ours. Okay. But also it's much bigger than that. But that, again, I asked that question and you're the first person that's raised their hand in probably in 2 months.
Oh. That's weird.
So we got, but that's the importance of collagen. You have to have it every single day, otherwise your body is breaking down. You know, we look older, we don't feel as good. But this is the difference. Remember we talked about the body of activation. Just taking something that's good. It's like a paycheck is great, but it's a lot better if it goes in my bank account. So inside your cell, you have a tissue called a fibroblast. Now, I don't know if you get this sciencey, but that is the part of your cell that makes collagen. It has to have ingredients, and then it has to have a reason. So what we have done with this collagen, this activated collagen, when you take it, it turns on the production of collagen, where your collagen density increases up to 40%. But if you combine it with the progenitor too, it's 100% in 8 weeks. So if somebody's not healing at the rate they should, not repairing the rate they should, odds are they're probably not eating the skin of fish. Okay, and if they were eating the skin of fish and their digestive tract stuck, are they probably going to digest it? So here's what's really cool. So what autoimmune disease out there ties into collagen? Anybody have any ideas? Give me a couple. Come on, Dr. Fernando, what's that? Arthritis is collagen based. And she's winning all tonight. You guys need to step up your game. Fibromyalgia. How about lupus? Okay. And all those. How many of you see patients that are just like this way? So what was interesting when this collagen product was launched, I was not super excited about it personally. I've been part of the company for 11 years, and I was on the science advisory board. I don't get paid for it. It's just we could be part of the community is to kind of be part of what comes to the market. I wasn't excited about collagen because I had people take it and never got results. So when they announced this, I'm like, well, I just hope it works. We started seeing people have really good changes, like in skin. I'll show you a couple of pictures. Like here's just a few of the pictures that we saw in the skin. But what fascinated me was I was seeing people with autoimmune processes getting better. I'm like, what? It's a collagen. What we didn't understand at the time, we went back and did a study on that protanum and the collagen. It normalized the immune response. So it helped the body not attack itself. We didn't know it at the time, but it made sense if you can reduce oxidative stress, those bad guys, and you can help the body give what it needs to do to repair that tissue, the immune response calm down. So I hope that as you're thinking about this thing, if you don't believe what I'm saying now, do your research, because you're going to have people that you work with or maybe you that struggle with autoimmune diseases or allergies, and this type of thing could have a huge impact on. Okay. But it's cool about skin that happens fast. Like the gums, like someone bites their tongue, it heals pretty quick. There's someone parts of the body. But if somebody's not healing, this could be a missing component to them. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the microbiome. Who can tell me what the microbiome is? Big word.
It's a vast community of bacteria.
He is so good. So good. We reward him. I hate to reward him.
See, friends just have.
You guys work with him all day, but that's all I gotta say. He actually thinks he's funny too.
Got it right.
You did good, right? And you read the notes.
It acts in your body to.
Nice, you meant put it up there first. How many times do you have somebody come in here, you know somebody that their gut's not right? They just struggle with just gut hurting. And you see these little kids all the time, right? Mom, my tummy hurts. Right? It happens all the time. Do you know that's directly tied to your microbiome? So what is it we typically get people if they have a gut problem? Like if you're gonna try to treat it naturally. Any thoughts? What? Ginger ale. Why ginger ale?
I don't know, it was just always like a remedy.
So ginger specifically, but the real ginger has a common effect on stomach because of what it does into the stomach lining. Ginger specific. That's why a lot of cultures they'll use ginger teas because it calms the stomach, because it actually has a little bit of L-glutamine in it, which calms the stomach down. That's why ginger works. Okay. What else do you give them? What else would you give them? Sometimes do for gut stuff? Is there probiotics, prebiotics, digestive enzymes? Okay. All right. We won't go through that, but here's why this is important. So I'm talking about when I talk about this process. Let's say you're trying to really help somebody. Number one, tier one would be if I could just reduce oxidative stress, would be great. Number two would be if I could actually give the collagen structure and reduce inflammation, to me it'd be like tier two. All right. If I wanted to affect the whole body's health, I would somehow address the microbiome. And this is why this is so important. Nothing is in your body until it goes to your digestive tract. So in other ways, every time you make a joint, a tendon, a ligament, or a tooth, you have to absorb the nutrients first, and then it has to be used throughout your body to actually be broken down and utilized. Now, besides all that, it does all these different things. How many of you, is there anybody here that's not been on an antibiotic before? Never ever in their lifetime. That's the normal. Everybody's been on antibiotics, many people multiple times. So they estimate when you take an antibiotic, depending on the type it is, it can take anywhere from 1 to 2 years to get back to a normalized process where it's actually producing the peptide it's supposed to. And if you take one NSAID, and again, it's not, I mean, I know we need the medication, but it can actually damage 50% of your microbes. And people take that stuff all the time. And because they're looking for pain relief. Okay. So we got a little work to do over here.
It's something like.
Hey, Brett.
That's like the one before that.
But what's interesting to me on that too is like, how many people do you know that struggle with like
Thank you.
depression, anxiety, focus, those type of things? It used to be, I mean, I see it a little, used to see it a little bit, I see it a lot now. All those happy chemicals our body's supposed to make, what do they make? Like close to 80% of your serotonin makes you happy. It's made in your gut. So if the gut's not healthy, it's super hard to make those happy things. No, this isn't all one thing fix everything, but like if somebody's struggling with that process, want to have a conversation about their microbiome, we're missing an option that could actually help somebody. What about this idea of dentistry? What if we could have this conversation with people and say, hey, if you're looking for more solutions, you're going to get better results in your dentistry. What's become different? There's a book called Purple Cow. And the funny thing about the book, how many of you ever seen a whole herd of cows before? Have you ever seen a purple one? So if you drove by and saw a purple cow, what would you do?
Take a picture.
That's a freaking purple cow. How many dentists
Milk it.
you would?
Oh.
Shit.
You know, so, how many dentists are in this? How many dentists are in this valley? How many dentists are in
In the country?
well here in
I don't know. There's 198,000 in the US.
So that's a lot of cows. What makes you purple? So in my mind, part of the reason why I do this activation, I want to be different. Like I want to be, you guys, what you guys do is so far above what most down practices do. It's because you got to let yourself be different. Whatever profession you choose to be. So to me, that just allows us to be different, and we're having conversation with people or not, and we're solving problems that relate to problems people don't even realize they have. All right, so I'm going to show you this. Unfortunately, this is what happens when your gut's out of balance. Obviously, GI stuff, a lot of brain fog and anxieties come from gut function. Somebody gets sick all the time. That's all microbiome problem. People that have hormone problems, guess what? Most of that's gut related. Why is that? If you take a medication that's just called hormone therapy and your body can't break it down, you're gonna get the benefit. That's kind of like you being taxed. Like I thought I got a paycheck to be like $1,000 and I got like $50. So your body can't absorb it. It's just it's not you utilize the rest of your body. The product he was talking about is called P84. So this product I'm going to kind of show you here. What it does, it gives your body everything it pretty much needs to heal from top to bottom. Now I mentioned how many vegetables you should have on average, like 7 to 10. If you read books like if you want to kind of do some homework later, there's a book called Fountain Paradox. He said you need between 60 and 80 different types of plants and fibers on the routine. So I tried to do this the other day. I tried to go through the grocery store and see how many different types. They're not even close to how many types. This is one reason why our guts are so damaged. They're just not the same microbial cells. Right. How many of you are familiar with peptides? Who's heard of peptides? What have you heard? Yeah. She was surprised. She was surprised. You get a prize. If you can expand. Yeah, maybe. Who's heard of GLP? Okay, so that's part of it. So that's for weight loss. It's a hormone your receptor tract supposed to make if it's healthy. All right. Who's heard of like what they call PPP 157? You've heard that term or what we protocol? So these are peptides, so they're little chunks of amino acids. Dr. Dane, correct me if I'm wrong. Not James Gay. Okay. But basically, they're communication molecules. So when your intestinal tract is healthy, it actually makes these little chemical messenger molecules that are called neurotransmitter peptides. If your gut's not healthy, it can't make them. So it means it can't regulate stuff. This product specifically, it helps regulate 14 different peptides. That's what makes what we do so different. We're not just trying to be a probiotic or prebiotic. We're actually getting the body to one, repair the intestinal tract repairs. The intestinal tract is repaired, and you don't have to tell the body to heal when it does on its own. It's when it doesn't do it's a problem. So if you just do the things that allow the body to repair, it will do the thing that's supposed to do when it's healthy. So the peptides, they repair. And once it's repaired, it can restore to normal function. And once it's started to function, it regulates. So when a gut's healthy, you feel full and satisfied. When a gut's healthy, you'll feel happier. When a gut's healthy, how many of you have eaten food in your brain foggy or hurt? That's because it's not healthy. And when a gut's healthy, you don't develop parasites and candida in your gut. Now, what makes the gut unhealthy? Another environment we do. No. Anyway, that kind of fun. Peptides, amino acids. Here's some of the peptides. You're going to take a picture if you can. And I kind of chat GPT that, so some of the spelling's off. But these peptides do everything from like help you feel satisfied and full, help you control allergy responses, control your body's ability to control the immune response. So you don't have autoimmune processes. Like these are the peptide job. Now, what I love about this, I don't have to know this. I just have to have a healthy gut. All right, so I'm going to give you a real simple activity you can do to do that, and then you guys can decide what you want to do. This is that P84 they call it P84 because there's over 84 different plants, fibers, herb extracts. So if I was going to make this product or attempt to make it, which I wouldn't mind, I would have to combine about seven different products that I know about to do it. Whereas this one, I just drink it. There is actually right now, tonight, it's almost 7. Yeah, past it. So I did a video earlier this week, and it's being shown live right now, where it talks about there's 5 different people we talked about their story once we added this in. And to change that, one with an autistic boy, he's 25. He's more verbal than he's been before. He's regulating better. He's advocating for himself in the last month. Because once the gut health was healthy, his brain responded better. But another lady, she's had multiple autoimmune conditions. She's had to be on stomach acid blockers for forever. She's now off some of that in the last 3 weeks, just by having this one problem. And there's several other people on there that are just the difference in what the microbiome has. So here's kind of the, if I would be Dr. Bolden, I was talking about this, and this is really what I want you to get from this more anything. As we're working with people in our lives, our families, if there's one thing you can do, reduce oxidative stress. And that's by taking one pill of protein a day. Now, if you want to say, hey, I feel like I've got a lot of problems with my tissue healing and repairing, that's where I'd want to do the collagen. If you're like, hey, I've got a ton of gut problems and I know it, and you want to affect the whole body, that's where I'd do P84. Now, I would encourage, I really don't care if you do it this way, just I don't care if you do it this way, but figure out a way to handle oxidative stress, have healthy collagen absorption. So we have to go to her house and have to fish.
Yeah.
All right. And find a way to have a healthy microbiome. If you do those three things, whatever level of health you want will increase. And so for me, my responsibility on this is I utilize LifeVantage as a tool to make it simple for people. What I've learned about men specifically, I don't know about women, but if you don't make it super simple, they're not going to do it. True or not? Okay. So if you make it simple, they're more likely to be successful. If it takes too many pills or too many times a day, it ain't happening. Right. So for me, it's a very, very simple way to activate people's body and ability to repair. I'm going to go over a few products just so you can kind of see them. And then again, you got to ask me any questions you want. But I'm also going to talk about how this business works because I would tell you all. So we have 4 children, my wife and I. I learned Fisher faster than Dr. Bollwinkel. Like I don't have 6. That's too many. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Okay. With our 4 children, this is what I've told them since the beginning. Since they were little, I said, I love you, but you won't live with me forever. That's number 1. Okay. Number 2 is find something you love to do. To hopefully have a positive impact. And find passion for that, but hopefully it ties in as making money while you sleep. I tell my kids that I didn't think about thinking that. I do now more than ever. But no matter what I tell you to do, whether it's here or something, find different ways to do that so that when you need time, because of life happens, you have time. And part of that comes to having money. Okay. I love being a professional, but I also love to think like that. So what we do at LifeVantage, there are different ways we activate the cell systems to actually respond to what they're supposed to do.
Hey, before you go down that road, let me
Yes.
So part of just to kind of bring this a little bit full circle on my journey down the trail. So about a little over a year ago, I started visiting with a couple of different groups that were really kind of geeking me out on longevity. So hormone replacement, hormone balance, the semaglutides, microdosing. Shoot, I don't know if you guys seen the studies, microdosing nicotine. It's amazing what's coming out of Europe that is not being allowed into the U.S. So this group, I was chatting with, some of you know and don't know, but we had a education facility across the way, and so I was collaborating with them. They're trying to one guy lectures at Harvard. He's connected to some guys in Italy. They were walking through peptides. They were walking through, and so I was kind of walking through, going, okay, how do I bring this? And they're trying to figure out a way to bring this all into the U.S. So there are a ton of studies in Europe walking through. Even what's one of the they use for diabetes a lot? Like
Semaglutide.
yeah, what's the Ozempic?
Ozempic.
So Ozempic, they're microdosing and
There's semaglutide, trizepatide, Mounjaro, Ozempic.
okay, and Ozempic. But I think the studies were showing Ozempic that they're pulling out, but they're showing that microdosing Ozempic in a late stage is eliminating like Alzheimer's. It's they're calling it diabetes type 3, and it's not being able to manage the blood and the effects long term on the brain, not just the body, right? And so I was going on this road with them, but the big issue is they can't get any of the products into the U.S. And so they're trying to figure out ways to do that. And that's when I kind of keyed on this with Brett a little bit ago, and I started kind of researching a bit, talk through understanding that if you can activate your own peptides and or heal the gut, then any other medication, anything else you stack onto it is going to have a better result. And so we were teasing about it, but I stack a lot of extra. I stack a lot of extra health and wellness. And the reason why you know peptides is because your husband, I'm sure he's involved with peptides in his business and what he does. And so it's understanding, and I've had guys preaching to me peptides for years. understanding hormone replacement, just trying to figure out how to stay healthier longer. And I particularly geek out on that because like my dad's birthday is in 2 weeks, week and a half. He's turning 89. Like you just sit there and go, okay, if I'm gonna live that long, then I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna fight to that long, right? And so that's where I started kind of walking through this when Dr. Carlson and ZB first started chatting with us about coming out. I mean, even a year ago, I'm like, okay, I can't wait for you guys to get out so that it frees up my time to figure out how to incorporate this concept and understand wellness longevity. I've even seen Katie's not here, like hormone and I this that is the time of year. Yeah, I get a little emotional. If you ever record this, better turn that off because I would rather rip your arm off and beat the crap out of you with it than cry in public. But like little Maggie, just her balancing her hormones.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's just changed her life. But we're sitting there looking at this going, oh man, if we can heal her gut, then we're going to see change in her life at 22, 23. So it's not hormone balance like you traditionally think of menopause, premenopause, post, all the other traditional medical concepts. It's like, how do we reverse the FDA for the last 30 years and all the GMOs, all the crap they've been pumping into us so that we can actually have a healthier life, be able to heal ourselves, be able to have better quality of life. And so that's where, as we start, when I started getting into this product, I understand that light will start going off. It's like, you guys know that we talked to a lot of our patients about airway, right? Why is that?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's the gateway to health.
Yeah, but why do I geek out on? Because yeah, and I'm a product of it, right? So at some point, I don't need a tissue. I'll need a tissue. Yeah, thank you. But at some point in time, I'm sitting there going, I in dental school, we went through a class and it was like airway. I'm like, I suffer from everything on obstructive sleep apnea. Nobody could treat it 20 years ago, 25 years ago. And then about 10, 12 years ago, I just checked myself into a study because I'm like, dude, the life sucks. Like I could sleep like at the light. I could put it in park, hit my alarm for like a minute, 20 seconds because the light's gonna last that long. And dude, I could get a power nap, feel really good, have the buzzer go off and go. I went and checked myself in 57 episodes an hour. So I was getting 0 ramp. So I geek out on that with my patients because I'm like, man, your quality of life sucks. I blamed it on 6 kids. Yeah, 2 sets of twins. Being married, gosh, that was the first mistake. Anything I want. Record this. But then the 6 kids, yeah, and so I blamed everything on me. Like, okay, it's just life. No, it's medical, but nobody could diagnose it. There wasn't even a medical professional that would diagnose sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea. And so as I started getting exposed to it, I'm like, oh, and I can see my patients now. And now we have the CBCT. Now we can screen patients and go, you're grinding your teeth because of obstructive sleep apnea, not because of stress, not because it was because you can't breathe at night. You're grinding, you're shredding your sheets with your feet. You've got your masseters are just destroying everything because of obstructive sleep apnea. We can't diagnose it, but we can collaborate with medical and help identify and then help patients change their lives. So this is like for me the next step of what can we do with our patients and the people we love of going, okay, how do we help? How do we contribute? How do we change? We're going to make their smiles just look like fire. I mean, we can make veneers here. I mean, we can make smiles beautiful. But if the people aren't happy around it, for me, it's like, okay, that's the next level. Let's talk and make beautiful human beings. And the smile, we're gonna see it in their dental health. We're gonna see it in their tissue. We're gonna be able to identify as patients get on this. Okay, their probe depths, all the fun dental terms of 343, 5 5. We're gonna be able to see all of those connected things change. I can't wait to see how it changes their life.
But I'm glad you're emotional dying. I try to pretend I'm not.
Now,
One of the key things.
Another doctor that cries. I love it.
I saw earlier, it's just ruined me just today. Yeah, the little princess. Yeah,
Oh, I love this.
You guys are lucky to put in some time in this. A couple of things you brought up, I think it's important for us to understand is that the reason why there are so much medications out there and peptides and things, people are looking for answers because their body's not making it. And why do we have young people be so overweight? Why do such young people have sleep apnea? And I just had a little kid this week, he's 12, just diagnosed with apnea. Why are we in this state? A lot of it goes back to the body's not doing what it's designed to do. Why we have kids on multiple medications for all sorts of things. Body's not making it. So one of the key things I'll tell you when it comes to what we're doing and you guys get to do, you're getting the body to make what it should make. The great thing about that, if your body makes it, you can regulate it. If you put it from the outside in, peptide, hormones, I don't care what it is, medications, your body cannot regulate that. So if we get the body to do it, it can make it regulate. So the body will know, hey, I need this much more of this peptide. If you put a dose in, like you just put the dose in. So we always want the body to make it we can. Let me show you a couple quick pictures. I'm going to have shared a couple of stories. So just know there's other products like skin health. Unfortunately, some of the biggest points we have from our skin. This is the brain drink that actually got me involved in the company because I was treating a little boy with autism for over a year. And then, has Luke been here before?
No.
Okay, with Palmer.
His mom.
Yeah. So it's when I saw him make a massive change and when he started doing this drink, that's what opened my eyes. I was getting a lot of good products, but after a year of working with him, maybe he still struggled with behavior and learning. He started this 10 days later. He came in my office, sat still for the first time. He started having a conversation with me, like everything just clicked on. 6 months later, he's tests where he basically dropped his class. 6 months later, starts school with no what's called IEP or extra help because his brain turned on. So I don't think back to like all these kids and people I treat, like maybe they're not broken, maybe they're just not activated. And that's what allows us to do. Cheryl, I'm going to share your story real quick, please. So this is my sister Cheryl. And so when I came back from learning this work, some about activation, I've been teaching physicians since 1995. My dad had a system called 671. We treat physicians how to like treat people. And even though all that knowledge, I couldn't help this little guy, and I couldn't help her son. And I worried about her son. So we have a sister who was basically on drugs, and so this little guy was born on drugs. And so he basically came in the world with multiple drugs in his system, and he looked like a normal kid, like on the outside. But he had a nickname, I called him Wolf, because he just had no regulation at all. So I just kind of tell him what happened, what this message shared us, she was massage therapist. She's the nice one in the office, so.
That's, I am. Yeah, so I've had Weston since he was born. And he struggled, especially when he got to school. Like when he was little, like little kids are just right, like you could control the variables, everything in their daily life. When he got to school and he played well with others, he wasn't like aggressive, but he didn't remember their names. He just would honestly either play by himself or play with young because it was easier. Kids his own age he just didn't mess with them all. And so I really noticed it as he was just in the social realm of school. And so kindergarten, they talked about halfway through the school year holding him back. And so I agreed to hold him back kindergarten, just more even for the social, not even for the academic, but he just really struggled with focus. He was a kid, I would have to tell him, like, ask him to do something. And then he would have to repeat what I asked him to do. And he would have to go do that one thing and then come back to something else. Like if you give him like 2 things to do, 3 things, forget it. It was not gonna happen. He was off to the next thing. And so found out about this when I think he was about 2nd grade. And they were again talking about holding back again. So you did kindergarten twice already. I'm like, I'm not about to hold him back again. Like even if he struggles, even if I have to do tutoring and all the things, I really just didn't want to have to do a year behind the other kids. And Brett literally canceled patients and flew out to South Dakota to meet the scientists after seeing what this did for his patient load. And when he got back from South Dakota, and Brett never counts his patients, like ever. And he came to my house actually when he got back from South Dakota. He came back to I didn't even ask any questions. I just started giving it to Weston. Because I just, like Brett, I mean, he was buying machines and he was always doing something to try and help kids like my son. And my son specifically. And so I just started giving it to him, putting in his water bottle, sending him off to school, like not thinking anything about it. Well, about 2 weeks into him drinking the Act every day, he called me from school, way back before kids had cell phones. And he called me from the teacher's phone. He's like, at school, and he said, I can't take my test. I need my Axio. I'm like, go get some water. Like I didn't put it together. I didn't understand what was so important about the Axio, except he became accustomed. He was just used to, he liked schedules. And so I took it to school. He came and got it, and he went and sat back down at his desk to take his test. So 2 things about that is, number one, anytime he could get out of schoolwork and like hang out with me and not go back to his desk, like he was going to do that. Like he would have stalled and taken all the time he could in the world. Like getting back to take his test was not priority number one. And then number two, that he was taking his test in the classroom in his desk. Because since I believe first grade, I think he was starting to take his test in like a small like classroom with an aide, because he would get distracted by the other students or just start marking answers and just had zero focus when there's other kids moving around and finishing before him. And so I asked his teacher, I said, how long has he been taking this test? She's like a week ago, he asked if he could take the test in the classroom. So he has, mind you, a 1 weekend to take an Axio. And the kid is not consistent on anything but his Axio. Like he would not forget it. I think that's the only day he ever forgot to take it to school. He's just super, super consistent with it because he felt it different. And so then fast forward, we went through, junior high and all the things. And when he got to high school, still, so he's only 1 year behind. Never once again did they ever mention holding him back since he started Axio. And he's still like, I mean, he still had to try, like it's great. He wasn't a straight A student. Like he really had to try, especially in certain subjects, to really retain the information and be able to succeed. Right. And so when he got to high school, I was always harassing him about what he ate. He doesn't like vegetables. He doesn't believe in them. And so I'm like, okay, I will not harass you all year if you take these 2 vitamins, these 2 activators. I said, I will not ask you to eat vegetable, like whatever. I won't bug you about what you eat. And so there's the yellow pill, and then there's one called Probiotic. So it's a probiotic. So every week, put him in this little pill divider, and he would set him on the kitchen table, and he would take them. And so I didn't know what I would notice. I didn't know what I would see with him, but I was hoping it could, after what I'd learned, it couldn't hurt. And so he started doing that. So about halfway through school year, so this is junior year in high school, he comes to me and said, Mom, I talked to my counselor today. She said I can graduate this year. Okay. So he's like, oh yeah, is that what she said? Like, what exactly, like what happened? Like, how'd this come up? And so I'm like, well, let's go talk to her. I want to make sure I understand. And so made an appointment with him to go to the counselor and talk to her, and went over everything with her. She's like, no, yeah, he's actually been doing so well and made up so much work. He's like, he can graduate this year. And she's like, he'll have to do X, Y, and Z, but he's totally like within the boundaries of doing that. I was like, okay, this is a kid, mind you, that just struggled. Like, it's just still blows my mind. Like literally, I met with the counselor like 3 times. Like I just kept making sure, like, are you sure? And so he graduated as a junior. So he skipped over his junior year, became a senior, and he had A's and B's. That was the only school year he had A's and B's when he finished school. And the only thing I changed was that. And so to me, like after listening to stories and like learning about, like I just put them on the app. So I honestly didn't, like I said, didn't ask questions. I didn't understand about all the other activation things that they had. But when I started listening and going to things like this, I was like, maybe this could help him. And so when those other pieces connected the dots, like it just was a game changer for him. And so now he's almost 20, is on a mission. And he actually went to Brett and asked him on his own. Mind you, a kid when he was younger wouldn't advocate for himself. I really had to push him like, yeah, order your own sandwich. Like he wanted me to do everything. He just didn't want to advocate for anything. And he met with Brett and he's like, what vitamins do I need to take on my mission? What I need to do, and even if something's going on, he's like, ask Brett what I need to take. Like he takes these. He doesn't like to swallow anything. Like I would find pills hidden. Like he just hates swallowing vitamins, but he will take these. And so it's changed everything for him. So
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So what you said there, not implementing, but there's a line to change. So when I look at that out here, the lines will change. And I never thought it'd be in this intent. Like it's actually kind of fun to partner this way. We treated so many people over the years. but to know we can kind of farther than reach than we thought possible was a lot of fun. And at the same time, change lives we didn't think could change. Like I was in Nebraska over the weekend. Because as part of LifeVantage, one group that is not my group has me to come help with their team out there. And I heard story after story about people that started this actually because of that story we told about that little guy, 11 years ago. You just don't know how far they should go. So there's other products we're not going to hit on. One is the National GLP-1. So if one of those people with weight loss, this could be helpful with people, cool pictures. But I want to talk a little bit about this. People, as they come in, they can be customers or consultants, either one. And I'm going to encourage you to just offer. If you thought about somebody, I wonder, hey, if this product will help them, just let them know, hey, I heard this. I wonder if it might help somebody. That's where it started for me. So when I came back, I put in my toughest clients, the strike, right? You got to tell me the strike panel. They come in, like, she's gone through a lot, and I wish she was here to share her story, because like the thing we've seen change in her. So she was on like 47 supplements a day, because that's what we get her fun. She's had 3 massive head injuries, 2 where she basically died at the run walk again, hitting cars. Now, for where she is today, I never thought we'd pop. She's only taken a handful of these activators, and that's it, and functioning really well. Be successful, good finish college, never let that be in the car to work because of the injury she's had. So it can absolutely change people's life if they're consistent. Now, the reason why I do this in the business is because there are more people I can touch that can touch it in practice. And then so when I started doing this business, I saw a little guy have a change. And have you ever had a time in your life where you wish you had more time? Or more money? Okay. So there's several specific times for me. One, our sister passed away when I was 18 from an eating disorder. Heart just quit. And I watched my parents go right back to work. That's just because they had to. And, you just do it. I still remember that time that it might have been nice to process that differently than we had to, but I understood he saw patients. That's what he do. That's that English right there. What he do? That's my son. And then when my mom passed away in 2008, our mom, I got another time. I just wish I had time for a week. She passed away at a funeral. A week later, we were chasing a seminar in Dallas. It's just what you had to do because you had to earn money. And I just thought, man, it would have been nice. In 2009, when the economy tanked, I short sold that. We built a house and designed it. I had to short sell that in 2010. Because financially, I just knew, like, if we kept going, my employees were being paid for 6 months, I wasn't being paid. I'm like, how much longer can I do that? And so my wife and I made a really hard decision for us, for my ego personally, to feel like we need to let that go if we're going to rebuild the way I wanted to be in the future. Now, because that happened, when I saw this, I broke my knee playing basketball, and I had that thought again. Like, what if I couldn't take patients? Like, I got 4 kids, a wife, and a life. So I talked to the lady that introduced me to this because I'm like, well, her son, she basically poured a ton of money into him, and she never asked how much it cost. She's like, will it help Luke? I said, yes. So and she would do it. I'm like, well, I never really understood that she was part of this company LifeVantage. I didn't understand how she made money. I always knew she would do everything for her son. So when I had my injury and I see the results with people, I'm like, tell me about the business side of this. Like, I know how to make business as a chiropractor. Like, I see patients, I get paid. Like, I knew how to do that, but that never made money wise sucked. Okay. What I didn't understand about this type of industry is if I could teach and train people that teach other people how to get healthy, and I could be a part of that experience, that I could make money while I'm sleeping because I built a team and it's not tied to one economy because we're in 20 countries. It was a very different mindset for me to understand that. Because the bottom line is, if we're not helping people, we're not getting paid. I just want to find a way to help people when I was resting. So, and a perfect example is tonight I'm here, so you get a chance to kind of teach you about activation that I know will change somebody's life with Elitic. That's, to me, worth the reward. But at the same time, I spent an hour early this week. I did a video talking about this with somebody else. That's airing live right now. This is going to affect about 200 people. Now, what that allowed me to do to leverage my time and knowledge that impacts more lives. But because I'm tied to that business, I can make money multiple places. And you can be anybody. So Marisa and we actually hit a rank what's called Pro 7 together. You've been in business for 5 years. I know you got to do a big component. That question there comes, or call Stan, he'll give you. I'm just looking last answer. But, we hit that rate the same month, and you've been in 5 years at that time,
Mhm.
and I've been in 3.
Mhm.
Well, she's now a higher rate than I am. And your background is news anchor originally. So you, it doesn't matter what field you're in, it should matter if you're willing to do the work to share with other people about the message. I'm gonna show you one quick slide. It's me, just so you know about the company, public traded, so you're not familiar with what that is. You know what the financials are. If you've ever been a part of a business and the business went away, that would be really sucky, and that happens to a lot of people because you don't know what the numbers are. We're debt free, $20 million in the bank. Because of that, we had just purchased a new company because we wanted to tell you to get that love that with the microbiome product. Public share of the stock exchange, so you know what the numbers are. You know what people are making. I love that transparency because I've been with 2 companies before with that wasn't the case when it comes to a company, nutritional company, we're teaching for. So I like that, the transparency there. Now, just to give you a perspective, these right here, I don't know if you can see those numbers. These are real numbers on what people are making monthly. That friend of mine, Carrie, she was here. She was making over 50,000 a month. I'm like, wait a minute, you were like, you were Bath and Body Works store manager.
That's an old one.
And this is an old list, more than this now, but like, it blew my mind. Like, how? Like, I went to a capital education.
Way more than one.
And, but imagine what's awful. I don't know if you want to understand the business, like you understand, no matter what we chose to do, each of you have a job, you're paid based on that job. And what I tell people that you're being paid based on the amount of people you're impacting. That's really what it comes down to. And most of us, like, our income is tapped somewhere. Unless we find other ways to impact our lives. So if you want to know what that looks like, grab me later. I'll tell you what it looks like. The reason why we're partnering up, 1, it's the right thing to do. 2, we both want to have more time with our families, doing something that's positive and change people's life along the way. And I mean, truthfully, like I'd like to go to Lakewood, honestly, you know. But that means time for my family, and that can give you all of these. And like Bree said, you know, she's a news anchor, and a full-time mom, help retire her husband, Carrie, she's Bath and Body Works store manager. And there's doesn't matter what walk life you're in. Sherry joined me in business 2 years ago. Like a single mom.
3 years.
3 years now? Well, I'm so lucky. Single mom, so we're working on creating a retirement program. Right? It changed her son's life. So bottom line, there it comes down to. So I'm grateful you guys came. Like, if you want to talk more about that later, great. If anybody have any questions about some of the things you heard tonight, you can ask me anything. Like, we're going to have fish broth soup with you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's lunch tomorrow.
Hey, how do you rate this? Breeze rather? Chew on
Yes, the
You
female.
know, fish broth. They do fish broth. You know?
Yeah.
Any questions? All right, so you're welcome to try some samples. And those, so, and yeah, I was just with whatever Dr. Bollwinkel said when you guys how you guys in practice. For me in my practice, when somebody comes into me, my goal is I want to help them with what they want. So if they're coming in for whatever it is, and I think, hey, this is going to help them get well, I say, look, if you want to heal, and so in the insurance, I do a little bit of insurance, not most of mine is cash. But if I have somebody come in for an accident injury, it's a personal injury case we call it, I will always tell them, look, do you want to heal fast and complete, or do you just want to like just go do with what the insurance will cover? That's what I'll say personally. If they want to heal fast, look, here's the nutrition I would recommend you take if you want to heal fast. And let me have the make this. I said insurance is not going to cover it, but that's what does. Not that. So you want to find out how to have those conversations. You guys are phenomenal doing that training. And then I would do it in tier 1, reduce oxidative stress. Every person on the planet needs that. And here's what a question I'd ask, if you want to have some fun when you're seeing people, like, just curious, what vitamins and minerals do you take? If they're getting you the benefit you're looking for. If you could change anything about your health, what would that be? And you'll find a lot of people are taking a lot of things, spending a lot of money, and not getting results because it's not activated. Very, very different process. Okay. No one fell asleep.
Can I
That's good.
tell one story?
Yeah.
So, you guys, I've been in LifeVantage 13.5 years, doing nothing in network marketing. And, this business has changed so many lives. And I would just say, I'm in for the science. I love the science, but I gotta tell you, the opportunity has been life changing. And 3 to 5 years will happen with or without an opportunity in people's lives. The timing for LifeVantage is now with us acquiring this Love Biome microbiome company. It is a beautiful time. To see that Aaron Brockovich served on our board of directors for 5 years says a lot for who we are, and to have been on Wall Street, ringing the bell. So I just say, think about that. There are people in your mind going through databasing, you're going, I know this person, this person, this person, then we have a system and we show you how to do it. Simple invites, get out of your head into your heart and start doing it. And you're gonna get yeses and you're gonna get nos along the way, and you're gonna just say, that's okay. It's not their time right now. We're not here to convince people, but we do need leaders. This company needs people to step up and share. We need to make the world healthier and happier and wealthier. And it's all there. And I love this business because I can do it from anywhere in the world. And I don't have a boss anymore. And that's something I'm definitely allergic to. So it's a lot of fun. And we have a great time. We get to travel the world. We've gotten to travel so many different places together. It's a beautiful community of people that are like-minded and life-minded. And that's a really beautiful thing. And there's families, they grow up, right? They grow up, you see their kids. My kids were 10 and 12, they're now 26 and 23. And they've seen their mama build a business from their home, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I had great mentors like Carrie Williams. She was my yoga student. So it's just fun. I just wanted to throw that out
Yeah,
there
thank you.
because we do have a system to help you.
Yeah, if you want questions on it, if possible, yeah, we can teach you that part. And I think that's the best part about this is no matter what business you're part of, it's gonna get you to a certain place.
Yeah.
And so if it's not, this find something. Any other questions, thoughts? Are you writing a review there for me, Andrew? Great, I'm in trouble.
Already submitted.
I submitted, right? No, I honestly, I do appreciate you guys having me a chance to come in here and we do just have a meeting routinely, but like. You gotta chase life. Yeah, it's fun to. It's fun, does that goes never get old. This story you here.